Hello and welcome to Moto News Now on the Motocross Network. Today we have breaking news all moto fans have feared, and that is filthy Phil Nicoletti's retirement announcement. After that, we're going to look at a bit of a controversial topic, but I want to talk about it anyway. Ivanka Trump and her family riding motocross with some pros down in Florida. It sounds irrelevant, but I'll explain why I think it is relevant in a minute. After that, we have a couple quick rider updates. Dylan Ferrandis, his return was postponed yet again, and Dean Wilson will be returning this weekend in Nashville. That has been confirmed. Well, the unfortunate news that we've all been dreading, the legendary, filthy Phil Nicoletti will be retiring at the end of 2024. It's finally been confirmed today via a ClubMX public press release. Phil Nicoletti, a seasoned motocross veteran with 18 full seasons of motocross and supercross, has declared that his full-time racing career will draw a close at the end of this season. The final event of his career will be the SuperMotocross World Championship race, the finale in Las Vegas in September. Nicoletti is currently racing in 250 West, Monster Energy Supercross with his team, but he will transition to the 450 class for Pro Motocross and the SMX Playoffs. Despite the impending conclusion of his full-time racing career, Nicoletti remains dedicated to giving it his all this season and creating more memorable moments for his career and his fans. Whether they're positive or negative, we know he'll do it in his signature filthy Nicoletti style. Let's now take a look at a kind of emotional clip. It's not the full clip, but here is a small segment of his retirement announcement video. Here's that.
After 18 years, at the end of the 2024 SMX Championship in Las Vegas, it'll be the end of Phil Nicoletti's professional career. For 31 years, motocross has been the drug drug in my life. To even put it into words and to calculate how much two wheels has meant to me is kind of, it's unexplainable. It is the only time in my life, every time I get on a dirt bike, where I don't have to think about real life or real life problems. It's my drug and my getaway to the real world. I still remember the feeling of getting off the school bus, running up the driveway to get in the house, to drop my book bag, to put my riding gear on, you know. Being a 10-year-old kid from Coshecton, New York, all I ever wanted to be was a professional motocross rider. The discipline, the happiness, the emotions, the depression, all the struggles, feel like I would do it all over again. I'm not a very emotional guy, but results aside, the people that have stuck with me for years and have always supported me, I am truly grateful for that, because if it wasn't for those people, I would have never made it in this sport. So
Now, that's only about a third of his full video. If you want to see the whole thing, it's available on the Super Motocross website, and I believe they posted it on their socials as well. Anyway, man, oh man, we're going to miss you, Phil. All the shenanigans between him and his teammates, him and the media. I have very fond memories of Phil, and if you don't mind, I'll take a moment to share a couple of those with you guys. The first one being back in 2018 at the Unadilla National. I've lived near this track my whole life, so I've gone to almost every national since I was like 4 years old, 5 years old. But this one was special because not only were we rooting for the popular guys, the top guys like Dungey, Villapoto, Eli Tomac, or my favorite back then, Marvin Musquin, but we had the local legend, Phil Nicoletti, there doing fantastic. And he had the whole crowd rooting for him, man, and he lived up to the hype. It was a mutter. He ended up going 3-5 for the podium that day for his first and only 450 class Pro Motocross podium. So that was a very special day for me, the whole crowd, and all the New Yorkers there rooting for him. It was just insane. That was a great memory. My second fond memory of Phil was actually recently. It was this last fall at the Ironman National. I was at the media truck waiting for riders to show up so I can interview them, and the ClubMX Yamaha team manager, Mike Benacki, I think that's how you say his name, Benacki? I don't know. Mike. He shows up, as he always does, early. We talked for a bit, and then Phil and Garrett came over. Phil grabbed a sparkling water out of the cooler and completely ignored us, the media guys, and Mike was kind of like, hey, Phil, you got to do your job. Like, these guys have been waiting on you. Let's go. and he was just sipping his sparkling water. He's like, man, it's been a long friggin' year. I'm tired. I just want to sit and relax for a minute. You guys can wait. You've been waiting. So he sat there and talked for a bit, and then we finally did our interview, got it done. But we talked for a bit. He's a super nice guy. I mean, yeah, he's got that angry, mean guy persona, but he really is an awesome guy. It's going to suck to see him go. I've watched him for a very long time and obviously rooted for him as he is a fellow New Yorker, but it's going to be a great year for him. He's already had a great couple rides this year, and I'm sure he'll carry that into outdoors this summer. He was really consistent on the 450 last year. Hopefully he can keep that going for him this year as well. Let me know your guys' favorite Phil Nicoletti moments in the comments down below. We're going to miss you, Phil. All right, before we get into the next story, let me tell you about my sponsor, Blood Lubricants. Blood makes a variety of premium motocross, UTV, general, daily driver, oils and lubricants, basically everything you can need for oil. In today's product spotlight, I have Blood Lubricants Clutch RX Oil. This is, I believe, their newest product. What is it, you may ask? Well, it's their best oil line yet for their motocross bikes. It prevents clutch slippage, helps extend your engine life, and your clutch's lifespan. So why not give it a try? You're going to have to change your oil anyway. Don't chintz out on it. Get the good stuff, and I can even give you a discount. Here's a 25% off code. Use my code TMN25. Get 25% off, not on just this, but all their products. You can get some chain lube. You can get some bike wash. You can get a whole bunch of stuff on bloodlubricants.com. Use my code TMN25. Again, thanks to my sponsor, and thank you guys for supporting them. All right, so this next story is going to involve me really poking the hornet's nest, that's for sure. A couple days ago now, daughter of the 45th President of the United States, Ivanka Trump, posted a few pictures and videos of her husband, and her kids riding at Miami Motocross Park with a former top 10 250 Supercross rider, Ramy Alves. I think it's Ramy Alves. He's a Brazilian Supercross rider. I think he's retired now. He hasn't raced or qualified in a while. But yeah, back in 2020-ish, 2021, he was really popping, top 10 250 guy. But he was also there with an up-and-coming amateur, the Cuban missile. They call him Ivan Aldama. They were all there riding with Ivanka Trump and her family, her husband, her kids. So why am I bringing this up, you may ask? Well, whether you like the Trump family or not, or support former president and 2024 Republican nominee Donald Trump or not, you cannot deny the cultural influence and popularity he and his family have had going back to at least the 1980s. His venues have hosted boxing matches, MMA fights. To this day, he is good friends with the UFC CEO, Dana White. I'm not here to push politics on you, and quite frankly, my political opinions don't matter, as my priority is the sport of motocross. That's what I'm here to do. All right. Oh, shoot. Am I still recording? All right. This isn't about that. What this is about is making motocross a more mainstream sport. Over the last few decades, the sport has been growing slowly but surely, even with a couple politicians showing up this year at races, football players they had, NASCAR drivers, and even McAdoo making TMZ Sports News for his Sackadoo incident in Detroit. We still haven't made the mainstream, even with all that. So my thought process on this is, with the influence and reach that the Trump family has, can this help grow the sport? Like I mentioned, Trump has a large influence in MMA and has previously in boxing. It's clear that he has helped those sports grow, and I don't necessarily think Ivanka putting out a riding post every now and again will push it into the mainstream. But to see her and the family at one of the largest motocross parks in Florida with a couple of pros, all the engagement and the large reach she has and this post has gotten, I think this can help grow the sport. If you look at the comments on this post, first off, you will see a lot of big names in our sport supporting them riding, such as Cooper Webb, Austin Faulkner, Grant Langston, Marissa Deegan. But then you get into the regular comments, not motocross related, and there are a lot of people saying how they used to ride. They used to be into the sport and that they should get back into it, and this reminded them, or how they've seen it but never gotten into it, and they want to. So I think it's fair to say with the influence they have, the more they get into moto, they're just getting into it, I believe, the more it can help our sport grow. If they really get into it and their kids become weekend warriors, or they want to ride, race every weekend, show up, that means the more they're going to post about it, and the more the Trump name will be around the sport, the more exposure we'll get. I think them posting it every now and again will definitely reach people that the sport wouldn't have reached if it wasn't for them. Now, I know this is a controversial topic, controversial people, but I couldn't help but at least comment on it and see what you guys think. I think any coverage is good coverage of our sport, whether it be Jet Lawrence reaching new highs in public popularity, signing with these big companies, getting involved with these popular celebrities, or McAdoo's incident that gets on TMZ, or even the Trump family getting into the sport and bringing in some other people that wouldn't have seen it regularly. I think it all helps. Let me know what you guys think about this. Will the Trump family getting involved in the sport help it grow or not? Let me know your thoughts. Please don't be aggressive in the comments. Don't start fights. I just want to know your opinion if this will help our sport grow. Let me know in the comments down below. All right, before we move on, issue number 8 of my magazine is available for pre-order right now. It's currently being printed, and I actually think it might be sitting on my front porch right now. I think it got delivered today, so if it did, I will be shipping that out later today. So that being said, in the coming weeks, MagPass subscribers, your copy will be shipped to your door soon. If you're not a MagPass subscriber and you want to become one, head to my website, themxnetwork.com. Links in the description. You can buy the pass there. If not, you can just buy single copies. I got a bunch of them right here. You can buy single copies on there as well. Thanks to all you guys who have supported my work. It means the world to me. All right, third story of the day, Dylan Ferrandis. The Phoenix Honda rider Dylan Ferrandis has been out since Birmingham Supercross now, dealing with a lung infection. I mean, he really didn't ride at Birmingham. He kind of pulled off within the first couple laps, so it doesn't really count. But the last update I gave you guys on him was that his team confirmed he would be returning this weekend in Nashville. Well, I don't know what the deal is. Previously, the team has been giving us updates on him, how he's doing, what his plan is. But this week, we haven't heard anything regarding him except that he'd be returning in Nashville. But behind the scenes, they changed that. They informed Racer X that he has postponed his return to Philadelphia next weekend. What really confuses me is the fact that Dylan and the team have been silent, no public info, only informing Racer X behind the back of everyone, kind of, that he's not going to race this weekend. That really seems weird to me. If they had done what they did in previous weeks, giving us an update online and explaining the situation, I mean, nothing seems off. But to me, not saying anything publicly and just going directly to Racer X behind our back, that something seems off. And I know I'm not the only one to say this. I believe it was Steve Mathis on maybe last week's PulpMX show. He said it as well. He said how it just seems weird and that maybe he's going into retirement, that maybe this did him in. It just makes me wonder how much damage this lung infection did to him. It is possible that lung infections can cause chronic lung disease, which, if that's the case, Dylan may be pushed into retirement. That might be the last we'll see him racing professionally. Something like that can definitely push him out of the sport. Now, I'm not saying this is the case. I don't have any special information for you. I'm just saying the lack of transparency on this illness and the dead silence from them and going directly to Racer X behind our back, it leads me to believe there's something more to this, that he's not recovering very well from it. Let me know what you guys think about this. Is Dylan okay? Am I looking too far into this? Will he be able to return to racing and perform as he did before? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, guys, final story of the day. It's a quick one. Firepower Honda rider Dean Wilson will finally return to racing this weekend in Nashville. He has been out since Daytona when he broke his scapula. It was pretty bad. He broke it in 3 spots, which is actually almost the exact same thing I did to my left scapula a couple years ago. And I'm just going to say, I know his pain. I don't know how he's getting back on the bike already. Now, it is his retirement tour, as he's calling it quits after the season, so I'm stoked to see him back. He didn't really have much to say about his injury and the return except this short socials post saying, quote, "So stoked to be back on the bike. Shoulder is still a little weak, so we'll keep working on it. We will see you in Nashville." I have no doubt in my mind his shoulder is still weak. It took me 6 months to fully recover with my scapula injury, so it wouldn't surprise me if his performances were a little weak or not on par for what he was earlier this season. Either way, I'm sure I can speak for all of us when I say I'm glad to see him back, regardless of where he finishes. He is undoubtedly one of the most popular guys out there. We love Deano. We're not looking forward to him retiring, so anytime we can see him on track, we're pumped to see it. So where do you guys think Deano will finish this weekend in Nashville? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. All right, guys, that's all I have for today's video. Sorry for getting a little controversial there, but sometimes you have to. Let me know your thoughts on all these topics. Again, please keep it nice in the comments. Please don't start arguments. I don't want that on my channel, or we already have enough of that in the world. Don't start arguments, please. Anyway, give me your opinion on all that stuff. Go support my sponsor, Blood Lubricants. And if you want to support me directly, head to my website and snag a copy of my magazine. Links in the description. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.